girlfriend who abandoned me and our 5-year-old daughter, came back after 10 years wanting to reconcile. For some context, 16 years ago, when I met Lucy, she was an amazing girl, intelligent, beautiful, fancy, funny, just the greatest girl I ever met. I felt so lucky when we start dating, and after a year into the relationship, we had a baby. I was living the dream, living with my girlfriend, raising our little daughter, being a happy family. I loved Lucy so much, and after some years, we were finally getting married. Our daughter was the most excited one about the wedding. She was going to be the flowers girl. Everything seemed to be perfect. Until, one day, when I was heading back home, a guy wanted to talk with me. At first I believed he may want to sell me something, until he mentioned Lucy. Politely, he asked me to talk in a private place. He then asked me to please stop everything about the wedding and step back, because he and Lucy wanted to be together. I didn't believe him, until he started to tell me a lot of details about her that would be impossible to know. I returned home as fast as I could. I didn't wanted this to be truth, and told her about it, hoping all was a mistake. But, no, it wasn't. The next hour she told me everything. She has been cheating on me from the last 2 years. She told me about how all the time she said she loved me, that she wanted us to be together and she loved our family, were all lies. How her new man was younger, stronger, handsome and better lover. She said that she didn't want it to be tied to me, how she lost her freedom for being a mother and she didn't want it to be a wife, that she wanted her freedom back. The final stab was when she said she was happy that I finally knew, and now she was able to leave. I cried, begged, humiliate myself and got on my knees, asking for another chance, to try fix our relationship, but she didn't want it. She wanted the thrill and excitement that this new guy make her feel. By the next day, she left us. I felt broken, humiliated, emasculated, but my daughter needed me. She was heartbroken, her mother left, and she believed it was her fault. She heard when Lucy said she didn't want to be a mother anymore. She needed me, and I needed to be strong for her. Fortunately we had help. My family and Lucy's family supported us in any way possible. Her parents were so ashamed for their daughter's actions that they couldn't look me to the face without apologize for everything she did. I will be in debt with everyone forever for all their help. Fast forward, 10 years later, after lots of time and therapy, my daughter and I are living happy. She is the light of my life, a beautiful 15 years old lady who I love. Our wounds are healed and we have a very good life. But then, she came back. When me and my daughter were getting back home, we found Lucy in front of our apartment, waiting for us, wanting to talk. I recognize her immediately, and I would like to say that I did something cool, like ignoring her, asking her to leave, or at least be hostile with her. But no, I'm an idiot. My heart skipped a beat in the moment I saw her. She still was beautiful as before, but somehow, she looked even better. Maybe the age make her look mature and elegant. Maybe the dress, or the makeup, I don't know. But I let her in, while our daughter gave us some space and went to her room. She told me everything she did since she left. Basically, she lived with that guy for some years. She said how much she enjoyed it, all the fun she got and how she believed those were the best years of her life, until she noticed that the excitement of that new relationship was fading slowly. In some point, she started to cheat on that guy too. According to her, she wanted to feel alive and excited. Eventually, that relationship ended, and she started dating other guys. Every relationship became shorter than the previous one, until she only had casual hookups. She also said that sometimes she thanked about us, our family, but she said she was too proud to admit she made a mistake. Until last year, she got COVID and it hit her really hard. The point that she believed she would die, and realized how alone she was, how stupid she was, and the mistake she made so long ago. After all of that, she said she regretted everything she did and said, and now she was ready to marry me, and be the family we always meant to be. When she was done I asked her to leave, to give me some time to think. She accepted, saying she would be back the next day. For years I dreamed about her coming back, and now it was happening, but it just felt wrong. Since then, she visited almost daily, wanting to talk about the best years of our relationship, and how we could be a happy family again. I asked for help. To my family, to my friends, most of them said I would be making the worst mistake of my life if I take her back. Others said that I could give her a chance. It took me a lot to heal, and some more time to start making new relationships, and I would be risking everything. One night, my daughter and I had a deep conversation about all this. I always try to involve her in every part of our life, and this issue concerned her too, because as her mother, sometimes she surprised me being so wise and mature, because she told me, can you really love someone that hurted us so much? And that was everything I needed. I would never forgive myself if I let her hurt my daughter again. And I said that to Lucy. If she want to be around, or have a relationship with our daughter, I'm okay with it, only if my daughter want it. But I told her we are not getting back. Lucy only said that she would make me fall in love with her again, and that she would not give up. Update, I didn't expect so many answer. So, thanks to everyone for your answers and advices. Thanks to the ones who made me open my eyes and helped me to realize I still having issues with my ex and am not over with her. and overall, to the ones who pointed the risk of hurting my daughter that is letting her back in our lives. I can recognize my weakness, but am not letting her to hurt my baby again. So don't worry, I'm not getting back with her. Since the post, she had been insisting on meeting. She wanted to talk. I decided to have one last talk with her and setting my boundaries. We met in a public place. The talk was long and hard. I wanted her to be honest. AMD, I told her the moment I caught the lie I was leaving. I asked if she was really sorry, or are we her last option? Did she really love us, or are we just a consolation prize? Did she came back for love, or because she was unable to find another man anymore? She was unable to answer any of that. She only said things like, it's not like that, you need to understand me, I'm not like this anymore. She kept insisting on giving her another chance, that we can love each other again, that we could be together. She never even mentioned our daughter in any moment. Only after I pointed it, she started to mention her. When I tried to settle that we were over, she grabbed my hand and, as some of you told me she would do, she tried to seduce me, pulling down her blouse, showing me her cleavage, and saying we can find a room, so I can do whatever I wanted with her, that she wouldn't say no to anything, to compensate me. I didn't recognize that woman. She wasn't the amazing girl I met. She wasn't the mother of my daughter. I didn't know who that woman was, but she wasn't my Lucy. I said her to let me go, that we were over. Neither I or my daughter wanted anything with her, so please, leave us alone. We were living a good life without her. She then went mad, saying I couldn't left her, that it wasn't my choice, that she doesn't have anything else, that I can't take away her daughter. I still don't know why, but that last sentence triggered me. The next are not my exact words, but are close of what I said on that moment. Your daughter? Your daughter? You are not her mother. You only gave birth to her, but you are not her mother. Tell me, where you were when she was sick, where you were when she had fever, when she was scared on the night, when her first teeth fell, when she cried on the nights because she missed her mom, where you were on her first day of school, when she had her first period, when she had her first boyfriend, when her heart broke for the second time, because the first one who broke her heart was her mother. Which dick were you riding when she needed a mom? You have no rig to claim you are her mother, because you never acted like that. She tried to reply, but I saw how she was unable to find the words. I left her. Back at home, she sent me some texts, asking for another meeting, for another chance, that she loves me and she can change, but I'm done. You all were rigged. She doesn't love me or our daughter at all. She only loves herself. Having her on my life would be bad, toxic. I don't need that. I don't need her. My daughter and I are going back to therapy soon. Some of you were rigged. I need to work on myself, be stronger, and get over those feelings for her, because they're not real, just a memory of what I thought she was. Now story 2. My abusive family begged me for help after years of no contact. Let me start this by saying that this entire situation was overwhelming for many different reasons. When I grew up, my parents and my sister were abusive towards me through my entire childhood. While my sister, who is 2 years older than me, was an intended child, I wasn't. And they exactly treated me this way while they spoiled her rotten. Going into details about my childhood is something I want to avoid, but I guess it doesn't hurt me to give you an impression. My parents treated me more like a slave, as I had to do all of the chores when I came home from school, and I slept in the guest room on a dirty couch while my sister had a big room with a big bed. They even invented a 2-class meal system for me and my sister, where I was only allowed to eat, let alone sit down at the table when they and her were done eating. Meaning I ate their leftovers. They were also physically abusive towards me, as my mom and dad loved to beat me whenever something from the chores wasn't done correctly. My sister was no better. I wasn't a sibling to her, more like a housemaid. She loved bullying me at school and at home. She even told lies to the only friends I had so they wouldn't like me anymore. She told them I was talking bad behind their backs. Any explanation attempt failed, so for the most part I was alone during my childhood that was filled with tears and pain. When I turned 18, they kicked me out of the house. They probably didn't expect what came next. I completely cut any contact and built my life for myself. I found my first real job, and from that on my life only went forward. I never wanted to look ever again. My life got better and better as I then attended a much better paying job. Now I was able to afford an apartment. My life went well, and I even became a high supervisor in the company I worked for. Remembering my parents' jobs, I probably make more each month than both of them combined. And since I lived alone in a quite modest apartment, my income far exceeded my financial expenses, meaning that I was able to save a lot of money. Before I explain what happened now, I need to mention that my sister had a condition from an early age on. As I'm not an immature asshole, I won't go into any details about it. This is a matter that only concerns my sister and her doctor, and maybe my parents. I respect that and don't interfere, but I still have to mention it for this story to make sense. Okay, fast forward to a few months ago. I received a call from an unknown number. I haven't talked to them for quite a while, so didn't recognize the voice at first, but it was my mother. When I realized, I just wanted to hang out, but I think she saw that coming and begged to not hang up and let her explain why she called. She slowly started to apologize and asked if we could meet. She said I don't have to talk to her. She just wants me to listen to what she has to say. I honestly still don't know how she found out my phone number. Whatever, I agreed since I had 2 weeks off from work, and honestly she's really good at persuading people. Besides that, I had a plan. Not gonna lie. Well, we agreed to meet at a local cafe the next week, and when the day came I was surprised to see my father there too. When they saw me, both of them smiled at me widely and hugged me tight. I pushed them away from me and told them I'm not comfortable with this, and they apologized immediately. This was strange, really strange. They never behaved this way towards me and I felt something was off. I asked them to tell me why they want to talk to me. The next hour was them explaining how sorry they are and how deeply they regret treating me the way they did. It was so awkward, but then they finally got to the point. My mom explained that my sister still lived with them and that her condition got way worse. She needs a specific surgery that would help her, but her healthcare is so expensive for them that they cannot afford it while having to deal with the other expenses. And the longer they wait, her condition would get worse and it would get more expensive. What they basically told me was they were in a financial downward spiral. They told me that their insurance company refuses to cover the surgery, so they have to find another solution. They told me that they saw a photo of a company meeting at my company on Facebook that a coworker had shared, and I also was on the photo, so they figured that I was now successful. Honestly, I don't like that word. It sounds so snobby. They said that they know they have no right to ask me for this, but they asked if I could help them financially. I stayed quiet the whole time, and when they were done explaining, I asked them to meet my sister. Surprisingly, she was in a hospital, and that is also why she couldn't come too. She had a separate room, and when she saw me, she also smiled with delight. You guys understand why I still think this was super awkward and weird, right? However, we talked a bit and I asked her and my parents why I should help them. I wanted to confront all of them at the same time. I just talked and released all suppressed emotions at once. I told every one of them how much they hurt me over the years and all the horrible things they did to me. I also knew that I had the power of their fate in my hands now. When I was done with everything, I just left the room without looking back, and you can't imagine how good I felt getting all of this off my chest. And then I decided to actually play the power move. I did something that probably none of them expected. Yes, I actually paid for her surgery. A surgery that could possibly make her condition completely harmless for a very long time. I could have decided right there and then to never look back and just let her rot there, but instead I decided to help them. I think that this was way more powerful. I also knew that this would probably make them feel way more guilty and regretful for what they did to me. I had seen Schindler's List a few weeks before all of that happened. I'm not lying here when I say that a famous quote from Oskar Schindler inspired me to do this. Power is when we have every justification to kill, and we don't. I asked a young doctor to go into their room now and tell them that the surgery would be paid. I then left the hospital and drove home. My sister texted me and said that she's so thankful that I did this for her, that she feels so horrible for treating me how she had treated me, blah blah blah. Where are we? In a drama series? The same shit also came from my parents. BTW. The surgery went well. I feel in peace with myself. I feel good. Till today they often text me and ask if we could meet. What an interesting turn of events. Edit. For those who don't understand the power move. If I would have just left my sister to rot in her hospital bed, I wouldn't be any better than them. Me paying proves I will always be the better person. I know who I am, and I know that helping her was the right thing to do, even if some of you might not agree. Because even after all the trauma and pain they inflicted on me, I still am a good person who was able to keep his humanity. Unlike them. If this makes you think they won, then I don't know what to tell you. And guys, don't worry, I'm going to block them soon, as I'm not ready to reconcile anytime soon. I just want to see how hard they're gonna try to get my attention again. Update. My original post was posted 17 days ago if I remember correctly. Half a month, and since then a few things happened. I know many of you thought they won, but no, they didn't. So a few days after I posted, my sister visited me and she formally apologized for everything she had done to me. She told me that she never realized how wrong the lies were that my parents had told her until I did what I did. She told me that my parents used to talk bad about me behind my back, which, to be honest, I expected for a long time. She said that she was a product of her environment, but she could understand if I don't believe a word. She said she wants to better our relationship if it's fine with me. She said that after saving her life she owes it to me, and she hopes I can at least forgive her one day. I listened carefully to everything she said, and as a proof that she means it, she told me that my parents were planning to trick me into paying for the bills connected to the house. And indeed, after a while they wanted to talk to me. They told me a total bullshit made up story about how my dad lost his job, and being the main breadwinner of the household he needs some help. I expected a lot from these people, but such audacity is something that even I didn't expect. And I agreed to do it. Wait for it. I even offered to help them with the costs of the car on the condition that they transfer ownership of both things to me, to which they agreed after a little bit of deliberation. You probably can guess what I'm going to do now. The car is already mine, but there are still a few things left to do for the house, but if both things are mine, I'm going to sell them to get the money for the surgery back. What I'm also gonna do is letting my sister choose a side by offering her to stay with me. The fact that I technically saved her life will make these decisions even harder. If she decides to stay with them, they will all live on the streets. Well, not technically. They probably stay at a friend's house or something, but you know what I mean. My sister is currently the only one that I actually consider reconciling with. Her apology was so sincere. It felt good being the bigger person for a while, but I guess sometimes it doesn't hurt playing a similar game, especially if you're better at it.